Hey, good people! This is episode 14. Woohoo! Today I'm going to talk about the effects of stress on your weight and your health. Those two are very intrinsically interlinked, shall we say. I'm Donna Meals, and that's who I am. That's what I do. And my goal is to teach everybody food education. And basically that's figuring out what you should truly eat and loving that. So not an easy task, especially if we've been to the doctor and they've laid down a sentence for us. And we're going to get into that a little bit more today, but I'm going to put on my life coach hat today. I'm going to put on my health coach hat today. Because they are definitely, like I said, intertwined. There's every bit of who you are and what you do as far as eating and staying healthy is not only does it have a physical aspect, but definitely ties into the emotional. And if your back end brain isn't on board with getting to where you want to go, all the momentum in the world isn't really going to work for you like it is if you've got some kind of synchronicity going between your head and your heart. So anyway, so for my meme for today, if you want to fly, you've got to give up the shiz that weighs you down. I just didn't want to say a bad word. You got to get rid of the SHIT that weighs you down. And that's from Toni Morrison. Not sure who that is, but it flew across I have the little motivation app, and then about, 8 or 9 times a day, something flies. And if I see something like that, I kind of take a screenshot, print it out, and I've got it it's in with my book of heroes. I have a book where I keep all my special people that I would like to emulate, or they're kind of like my idols and heroes, I guess. People that have, really influenced me. That's what I want to say. And I also have a meme section in there too. So, I think when you get to that place, like I said, if you want to fly, you got to give up the shiz that weighs you down. And, just think of the airplane example. My son's a pilot, so he would totally relate to that. I don't know if you're watching, Cole. You better be. Pretty soon I'm going to be going to Hawaii and helping him go through and get him set up with all this in his new place. So I'm just waiting for him to let me know when the date is. So, but that's, like I said, that's who I am. That's what I do. So when you think about it, there's so much in our life that's weighing us down, that is taking away from what we can really do. One of the biggest thing is just general anxiety and stress. And it has such an effect on the way that our body processes work. And I'm not even just talking, eating. I'm talking about pretty much everything. We are a chemical factory. Our body creates all these hormones that are, messaging systems like do this, get this, make this, send this. That's all that's going on in our whole body every day, all day long, and while we sleep as well. So if you think of it in those terms, and stress tends to be one of those things that is just kind of a universal, you stick a spoke in the wheel. It is, and it robs us of our general energy for our body to work in our correct way, and stress robs us surely of our emotional and our mental energy. That's one of those things too that's a side effect of stress in your life. People tend to be, well, I'm going to get to my topic. Okay, so my topic is the Terrible Trifecta: obesity, diabetes, heart disease. Okay, and what they are is just, it's a progression, because Anybody you see that has heart disease, every single time, they're overweight. Everybody that has diabetes, they're overweight. You know, that being overweight is really just, is the gateway drug. Somebody described that to me. A fellow health coach professional was talking and said, yeah, obesity is the gateway drug. I thought, wow. And, you know, when you think about it, it's really true. If you've got serious heart disease where your doctor is saying, hey, you know, you can't go up too many flights of stairs in a day, you have to be super careful, you're really not allowed to exercise. I mean, that's really getting scary. And then that's at the place where, you know, it's harder to go backwards. The further down the road it is, the harder it is to turn back. That's with anything in life. So, I guess what I'm getting at is there are just so many things. Stress really kind of is one of the major building blocks of all three of those issues as they go further down the road. You know, nobody wants to get to that place. You know, some of you just have a minor indication of heart disease, which is really the big baddie. Heart attacks kill more people than anybody. Even that stupid virus thing. Heart attacks, diabetes, I mean, that's a condition where you're afraid that you may start losing parts of your body. You know, you can't mess around with this stuff. You just can't mess around with this stuff. So it all relates to food. Most of these things, yes, there are some factors like your genetics and your disposition and your cultural, all of those things, yes, they do play a part. But everywhere down the road, food, number one. And sometimes you just gotta say, I mean, it's about time that I change this around before I get further down that road, you know. Obesity is what it is. Nobody likes to be overweight. I don't care if it's 5 pounds or 500. You know, you want to look good. You want to fit in. You want to just be the best you can be. That goes down to the 3 factors in life. Want to belong, want to be accepted, you know, and want to be loved. That's those are the driving forces in our life. So anyway, I guess what I'm getting at is those issues tend to be the most difficult, and they may start out in a really benign way where even I never in my life, but the last time I was at the doctor and got a whole bunch of blood work, my naturopath, and he is a lot more stringent than what most of the MDs. I worked with shout out Dr. Kelly Ward. Worked with her. We did we partnered a weight loss program in her medical spa, and I was one of the first times that I recognized that even doctors kind of have their own, sliding scale of what's like danger, and what's starting to be danger. And I give her kudos because, some of the cholesterol levels and things like that, thyroid numbers, she was really more getting people on board with things before they got to the place where most of the physicians would even look at it and make mention of it. And I thought that was really cool. And my naturopath, he's kind of like that too. And he said, hey, your cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. And it's probably because, as many of you know, I gained some weight. I put on a few pounds, taking some seizure medication that I had to for my head injury. And wasn't aware that it would pack it on you. And going through the menopause thing, I'm kind of in that place too. And I was stroking out because I couldn't lose weight. So I got desperate, and I was even doing the crazy, I was going keto, like full board Atkins, which is pretty similar. But I was eating a lot of bacon and eggs and a lot of stuff that is higher in cholesterol. And I've never had high cholesterol in my life. And I could not believe what those numbers, that they were starting to even get to the place where I was considered high cholesterol. And I was like, what? That's impossible. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is, if there's a doctor or anyone that you're a health professional that's taking and looking and analyzing your blood numbers, or whatever you gave, whatever your test results are, if they're starting to say, hey, and they mention it, then be cognizant of it. Don't wait until it gets to the place where, okay, this has been a problem for 3 years now. Now, guess what? You're pre-diabetic, and that's it. I mean, don't wait till it gets to that place. That's just a little basic common knowledge advice. Again, this is not medical advice. This is common sense. Oh, I don't have my little thing that says common sense, my little sign, but imagine that little sign says common sense. Come on, people. I mean, my own mom, she's going through a little bit of that right now. This is mostly because she had to switch a couple doctors up a few times, and one would make mention of something, and then the other one would say, oh, no, I guess it's okay. And so she's now in a place where her new doctor scared the living bejesus out of her. And all of a sudden I noticed she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go lower on the carbs here. And because she knows what to do. She lives, she lives with the whole realm of the meat, vegetables, starch group. Like I mentioned, that was our parents' generation. And so now I see her, I was over and we were making some dinner, and I said, hey, how about if instead of doing rice, I'm going to do some riced cauliflower? And she's like, okay, I'll try it. And she actually liked it. She didn't like the sauce I put on it, but, a lot less carbs that way. A little more veggie, a little less starch. So that's just kind of one of those little things. So anyway, things do tend to get down the road, so it's best to really just nip that in the bud before it becomes your homework from your doctor. Because that's scary. It's scary anytime. And, trust me, I understand that. So anyway, I wanted to address the stress thing. And I wrote myself, I got a bunch of notes here on just things. Effects of stress on the body. And I mean, this is not only does it affect your up and down on the scale, but I mean, it really, really messes with your whole body. So I'm just going to list my whole little deal here. Okay, effects of stress on the body. Increased cortisol production, which is associated obviously with weight gain, especially the belly fat, and inability to lose weight or gain muscle, and premature aging. So I don't know, if I'm putting these buzzwords out there like belly fat and premature aging, do you want to start eating good now? Yes. So let me go on. Decreased nutrient absorption due to a decreased digestive enzyme production, decreased bile flow from the gallbladder, as well as decreased oxygenation and gastrointestinal blood flow, okay? Can pick that up a lot with the breathing exercises I talked about. Just keep that in mind, that's connected too. But that breathing exercises are gonna help with all of that and the stress. So I cannot stress enough how a simple breathing regimen in the morning when you first wake up will really help with all these things. Let me go on. Increased nutrient excretion. Stress increases the urinary excretion of calcium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, chromium, selenium, various trace metals. Those are all the building blocks of what you need. That's why you're eating food. So those things are going to disappear. Increase in sodium and fluid retention. So you're going to blow up. Remember how everybody has a problem when they're blowing up? Some of you that have heart disease issues and high blood pressure, that you really need to be careful with the consumption of salt. It's all interrelated. So if you have that increase in the sodium and the fluid retention, that's really leading you right into that hypertension, which is high blood pressure. So Okay, so another problem, decrease in thermic efficiency. That means you're not able to burn the calories like you want to. Your metabolism gets messed up. Stress causes decrease in thyroid hormone, which can decrease, that's all about your metabolism as well. That's the main valve for it. So I hope you guys are starting to see some of the major things here that are going on. That stress is it's an amazingly terrible part that really contributes to that terrible trifecta. Okay, so I'm gonna name just a few more. I'm gonna go a little more rapidly. I'll just fire them off. But increase in blood cholesterol, the LDL, the bad one. Increase in blood platelet aggregation, which is a major risk for, it's a factor in heart disease. Increase in inflammation, okay? The basis of all pain and many of the ailments and the issues that you have from that is inflammation. And inflammation actually spurns on more disease, dis-ease, more discomfort, more not being at ease in your natural state. So, and then also stress decreases your gastric emptying time, which that's constipation, risk factor for disease for the colon. We all know how prevalent that is these days. Scary, super painful, super terrible. There's increase in food sensitivity can be caused by stress, okay? That will really affect your immunity. There's this thing called leaky gut. Stress causes leaky gut too, which is, it's kind of like when the bad bacteria take over and perforate your intestinal tract. And so what happens is instead of the food, the nutrient, different building blocks of food, certain items will kind of escape through the wall where they're supposed to go, not through the parts of the wall, but through the actual, construction of the wall of the lining of, your gut. They slide right through and then they hit your bloodstream, and then your body freaks out and says, danger, danger, we're allergic to this. And then you have an allergic to reaction to something. That is something that a lot of people, that's their issue when they have latent in life allergies that they never had before. All of a sudden they're allergic to something. Probably that. So, stress is going to also cause, this is a huge one too. I am going to go slower because these are all huge things. It will also decrease your hydrochloric acid production in your stomach, okay? And it's naturally decreasing as we age anyway, because we're not supposed to we don't usually eat as much the older we get, but have you heard of this thing, that acid reflux? What is that? Like magically everybody in the whole world all of a sudden had acid reflux. A lot of that is due to stress because we're not producing enough HCl in our stomach to start breaking down our food. Chewing your food very well 30 times before each swallow slows you down, brings your stress level down, and it starts your pre-digestion so that HCl in your stomach doesn't have to work so hard to move things along and break them down. We went through that before too. So there's just that slow down, de-stress, that's really going to help with so many different things. So many people think that they have this acid reflux. Yes, when it gets really far out, there are a lot of different, there's some mechanical parts that are injured. And that's, that door opens and the gas comes back up, and not the gas, but the, the acid. And people will suffer, damage forever. You'll be taking that stupid purple pill forever. Now they're finding out it causes cancer. I know people that have gotten off of it. I know some people that were prescribed with that, take the pill for acid reflux. And they were, true story, out with a friend, middle of the desert, and he forgot his pills. And he's like, I can't even eat anything this whole weekend. If I don't take it, I'm going to have that, And I said, well, sometimes maybe you just don't have enough HCl going on in your tummy. So drink a little apple cider, the Brags. I had Brags, that, the organic apple cider vinegar. And he was amazed. He was like, oh my God, problem solved. 1 a.m, he's knocking on my camera. I forgot to bring more of that this time. Can you, next time we were out in the desert, I need more of that. Do you have some of that? And I said, sure, I do. And so he got rid of taking a medication just by that. And I'm not saying do that. I'm saying, sometimes for some people it's worked, it's worth a try, because not every issue is really deeming for somebody to just write a prescription and tell you, oh, take this, not unless they really go into depth on that. So there are ways of solving that issue without taking that medication. Again, this is not medical advice. I'm just telling you some things for your own entertainment value of what has worked for some people that I've seen, which blew me away. So, anyway, okay, so stress, this is huge, can decrease your growth hormone, because you have growth hormones your whole life. They do, as you age, start stepping down and gradually decreasing, and that's part of aging. But I mean, to do that to yourself prematurely because you're so stressed out and you can't figure something out how to calm down or just meditate in the morning, not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, wake up. There's something for you to do. Here's something for you to fix yourself, and it's free and it's good and it makes you feel good. It makes you happier. Get a little meditation routine, 20 minutes. And by meditation, I mean clearly nothing than some super good, calm, deep breathing and clearing your mind of all the other stuff. When you first get up in the morning, don't look at your phone. Don't look at your phone for the first hour. Just take some time for yourself and be in your own space. Clear your mind and get yourself a good priming routine to plan out your day and do some good breathing, get some oxygenation into your system. And, I promise you, we're going to do that. We're going to do that as part of the, a 14-day challenge. I'm going to do it the latter half of this month. Still putting some of the material together. It's really got me on my toes working here. So I keep mentioning that, but I'm going to do it towards the end of the month. So I will let you know when I figure out what the good timing is. Kind of still waiting to see when I'm going to go to Hawaii and see my son. So just between you and me. Because I want to be able to really put my time in for him. And I will still do this there. We'll be like showing live from Hawaii. Isn't that cool? Here we go. This goes back to the other thing too. Increase in erratic function of the lower esophageal sphincter. Okay. Which is when that's the little door where you get the gastric reflux and heartburn. So all part of stress. Geez, did you know that? Why isn't anybody telling us that? Why wasn't anybody out screaming that from the mountaintops when we were in our 20s and 30s? So we started getting habits that were, going to be more helpful for us. We need to tell our kids that so they understand what's coming down the pike. I know they don't want to hear it right now, but they should learn from you and maybe some of your issues, and perhaps some of you, perhaps some of you are checking in today or listen to some of my podcasts, etc., because you're looking to find out how you can lead the way for your children and make them better. I mean, I'm doing this for mine. I researched into a lot of this because I want to make sure my kids really have the best information too. So, okay, last few. Stress has an increase in oxidative stress, which is, it's you've heard of free radicals, oxidation. It all has to do with cells in your body are being kind of prematurely destroyed by different processes. So Cell can bring that along. That's a precursor of many diseases, all of them, half of them, whatever. And so we get to the last one. Increased risk of osteoporosis. Bone density has been shown to be decreased in stressed and depressed women. That's actual studies have been done on that. So stress increases the urinary excretion of calcium, magnesium. I mentioned that before, but that's kind of what happens is if your calcium and magnesium are leaving through your urine and not being assimilated in your bones, you're gonna, that's just a death sentence when you're older, having the frail bones. Especially the preponderance of people that have broken their hip, and once you break that hip, it's really hard to come back from that. It's kind of, I hate to say it, the kiss of death. I want to say that is part of the factor when my dad passed away too. It took him down, and he was just never the same. So anyway, love you, Willie boy up in heaven. I just wanted to make you cognizant of that stress thing. And scare the bejesus out of you to say, we gotta do some meditation. And if you're too afraid to do it yourself, or you think it's woo, or you're, just look on YouTube. I'll put a link to some of my favorite people. In fact, there's a really cool app, and I bought it. It's called Synctuition. And I bought it, but then for some reason it wouldn't let me access it, and then it double charged me. I think they were brand new, so hopefully you won't have that problem, but check it out. Do the free trial. And it's 20 minutes, I think, and you just kind of go up the scale, and it's all done for you. It's through binaural beats, which is it moves your subconscious, your critter brain, the music works on syncing up, the energy waves that go on in your brain, your heart and your brain, and helps you establish just a better energy pattern, and really just improves a lot of things for you. It's the same type of idea of what meditation will do for you too. And it's really, honestly, I'm going to go through, this is my brain hack for today. My brain hack is, I'm just going to go through a basic little, and I've done this before, but I don't know if people really related to it or really understood the importance of it. I kind of linked that up with the breathing thing the one day, but breathing is breathing. You really should do some deep breaths every day, whether or not you make a point of it or do the Wim Hof method, that the app that I was saying. But relieving that stress through clearing your mind. The easiest time to do is when you're in theta mode, which means just after you woke up in the morning. You got to be awake enough that you don't fall asleep. I have a problem with that sometimes. Sometimes I'll get up, I'll start meditating, and then I'll wake up like, whoa, an hour later, and think, oh my gosh. Till I kind of reoriented the way I was postured, and that made a big difference for me. But I shouldn't get off on a tangent there, but really the whole point is clearing your mind, not thinking about what is going on in the back end. And that's what we do while we're doing everything else that causes and adds on to all of our stress. So in the morning, this is what I do. I wake up, my blinds are usually closed. I've got a little eye patch that I put over my eyes, and I put on my headphones, and I either have some of the binaural music, or I have somebody that goes through and reads a meditation, or I listen to some cool music that I like, and I just go inside my mind and think about whatever it is that the moderator's saying. Sometimes I have my own thing. I just do my gratitude. If I'm just listening to if I listen to plain old music, then I have my own agenda that I wrote down, the things that I want to think about. And some of those is I've gone through and designed 2 houses that I want to build. One's in the country and one's at the beach. and they both have a fantastic spa. But I was an architectural designer in another life. That's what my degree is in. And so I go through and just think of how every room is going to look and how I want it to be. And that just spin out on that. And I think about, I'd love to raise some puppies in this house in the country that I'm going to have. And, those are my things. Those are my dreams. I think about having dinners with my kids and, thinking how they're probably going to have a family and how do I want this kitchen set up? And yes, it's dreaming, but these are the dreams that I want to come real. And that's how you do it. You put that energy out there and say, that's where my subconscious, that's where I'm training my subconscious to go towards what it is that I want. And I go through and I have listen to this one song, and it works for me, and I go through how I want to build my business. And because I'm taking my coaching business, one of the reasons I'm doing this, I'm taking it online, from sitting down in person to person, face to face with people. So, I'm coming up with a few courses that people can do online it's just in more depth of all the things that I'm brushing the surface of all this stuff, all of these different things. That's why I pick a different topic every day. And that's why I keep saying, oh my gosh, I could talk for 6 hours, because there's so much information out there. And just like our health, why didn't we know how to do all this stuff? Why didn't we understand how bad stress is with this whole list of things that I have? Why did we not learn about how credit worked when we were in high school, or, even sometimes our parents never taught us that. Those are the things that I'm really trying to fix for my kids, and I'm working with them with that. I think my son's squared away. My daughter, she's doing pretty good too. They're doing great financially for their age, and it's just because they had the right knowledge and wisdom. That's what this is, knowledge and wisdom. Name of my business is Wise Life Consulting, and it is my absolute, it's my mission to put that out there and really help everybody that I can. So I have gone down the rabbit hole there, but I do have a surprise. I'm going to end this. I do want to go over another idea for your breathing exercise, just a cute little, it's just like a little mock-up, but I was just giving you a general idea of what I do. And then, okay, let's just do that. So when you're in the morning and you wake up, get a nice, cool, safe, dark space. There's a special room that you can go in with a good chair, play some really cool soft music, something, and, that's very soothing. And then literally just put your hand over your heart, bring a presence to it, okay? And try and think how you want to connect your heart, your emotions, something that you're grateful to, and something that you're looking forward to in the future, something that really means something to you. And then imagine that attach that to like a favorite space, okay? So imagine, that you've got this gratitude going, and you're going to travel. You're closing your eyes, of course. I put my little thing on, to keep any light out. And I go in my head and I imagine, my favorite place is the beach. So I imagine, my favorite beach. I have one down in Carlsbad. And go through and think, what does that really look like? What time of day is it? Is the sun setting? Is it rising? How's that look? What kind of sounds are going on? Are there seagulls? Is there people running or playing? Are there dogs on the beach? What are the smells? The sea air, the salt air. Is it cold, or is it a really warm day? You can really go through and get a more realistic picture when you involve the 5 senses. And I have one that I do that's this beautiful garden, with all of my favorite flowers. You can go anywhere in your mind and get away from the crazy stress that's going on before everybody else wakes up and before the phone rings, before your phone, you're looking at all your emails and all that. Take 10 minutes and do that for yourself, and I promise you, everything will start turning around for you. Do it in a 21-day or 14-day challenge for yourself and just say, this is one thing I'm going to take and I'm going to do for myself. But, the whole time you're doing that, you're just slowing down your breathing, and you're breathing in 5, 6, 7, hold for a few, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really slow things down. And when you breathe in through your nose and breathe in deep so your diaphragm expands. And get that oxygenation going. It's so good for your cardiovascular, for your brain, for everything. So, okay. So I'm at about my time frame for today. But I am going to, I do want to ask you, please like and subscribe. If it took you over to the YouTube, please like and subscribe my YouTube. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I really appreciate it. I see a lot of people watch on the website, but they don't go to they don't subscribe or like, and that would really be a helpful thing if you could, so I can get some momentum. So show me back some love. I'm going to end this, but I am going to do a bonus today because I bought some of my favorite fish in the whole world, Chilean sea bass, and I'm going to just do a quick little video of that and some the meal that I'm going to make tonight. And then I'll probably post that with a picture after it comes out of the oven. So I just figure I might as well do that, and I could probably, I'm going to make up a little marinade for a blueprint for fish, chicken, just a little basic marinade recipe. So thank you very much, and I really hope that I didn't scare you all too much, and that you're motivated to really start delving deeper and really giving some serious thought into making those baby steps and making those changes. And maybe the first thing to start doing that is just go back through on my YouTube and start and go through some of the material again. There's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of my best stuff, and ask questions if you want. I'd be happy. Anyone that has contacted me, I have got back to them with any resources that I could find, because that's who I am and that's what I do. Okay, take care, you guys.